All right, guys, gonna try to put a short one up this morning. So, got a little input or a little opinion on something here. After working on this bug for 2 years now, whatever it's been, on and off. This convertible belongs to the same person. However, this job wasn't engineered for me. You know, I just was able to take the job in and fix it however I wanted to fix it, other than not replacing the quarter panel. But as you can see, the car got stripped of metal, and before we put any primer or anything, we took the old finish off and we got it down to steel, so we knew what we were dealing with, because this had a single stage paint. Still have to finish stripping the top of this windshield frame when we pull the glass out. But for the most part, I really like stripping cars to metal if you're going to invest the time and money into refinishing the job, unless it's an OEM repair. The Nova's the same way. You know, it's had a couple paint jobs on it over the years, and I thought it'd be best just to get the material off the car, because the older the material becomes, the more unstable it becomes, and it becomes not a good substrate to go over. Now, recently I've, reminded myself of this. I have this race car here. This car used to be sponsored by Diamond, and it probably had 3 RM paint jobs on it. And, I really should have probably stripped the car, but I elected to sand the car down, 2K prime it, and I did that, and the primer split open everywhere, and it was a nightmare. So I ended up media blasting most of the car, and the only thing that I didn't blast was the hood, because it had some artwork from a friend of mine that had painted this Joker on here. And I figured I could tape the Joker off and incorporate the flames over it, and, save it. And all that did was give me heartache now. I've got the paint lifting off under the artwork. So it's not the paint that I put on the car, it's the substrate that I went over that's failing on this hood. So that's one case. This is another car. This is sort of a unicorn car. This was me and Andrea's first, that's not the proper way to say it, but this was our first car together. Scooter gave me this car for my birthday. It's sort of a rust bucket. And it's had a bunch of, different color changes and paint jobs on it. It was blue, it was red, and now it's blue again. And it's never been stripped. And, it's got stuff that moves around. Every once in a while, a rust spot will pop out, and that's because I don't know what's under here. I've never stripped this car. So, taking us into this booth here, today's Friday, or coming up on Friday, and I figured, hey, it's time to get a little money on Lily, because done more than a little bit of work on it, and I try to be more than fair. This is why I always tell you guys that are taking restorations on a job like this, get paid by the hour and by the week. Don't ever give somebody a price on a car like this, because they keep adding shit to it, for one thing, and every time you find something, you're expected to fix it. Just like this engine compartment, we're going to try to straighten up the rough welds and all that crap with some seam sealer. Really, those pieces should be cut out, and the piece that's all hammered up should be replaced, but we want to sort of stop there. We don't want to do the whole job. We're going to do half the job. And that was the decision made on this car when we put the primer down. We didn't strip the roof to metal. We didn't strip the quarter panels to metal. We didn't strip the back half of the car that wasn't in the collision. This is a collision repair, so obviously we fixed the front of the car. They've since decided to paint the whole car, of course, and now we're into the middle of a color change. So it just keeps snowballing and snowballing on this one, and this is just a good example of how it can go. Now, the other day, I showed you guys a couple little dents in the dashboard on this. We did the final prime, and I was able to knock this dent down over here. It's going to need a little mud work, and there wasn't too many surprises on this side, other than the dent was bigger than I thought. I blocked this with some 180 and come up with something on the bottom there. I'm gonna have to reprime that. That shit's all on me. Now the inside of this car, I'm battling with it because somebody took it down to bare steel at one time, sealed it, and sprayed single stage paint over it, and the single stage paint's giving it up, especially where they just went over the bare steel with a sealer. So what I've had to do in the back of the car here is strip it all the way to metal. Quarters were stripped, the roof was stripped, this piece is getting stripped. And came over to here to fix this little dent. And I tapped on it with a hammer. The dent was right here. If you remember, I metal finished it. And I was all impressed with myself until I saw the crack. And yeah, anyway, this door jamb, obviously we replaced the bottom, so they were stripped. You can see a little mud work here. And all that's fine. But what happened up here was, let me see if I can find a piece of paint. Oh, here's our primer. And look at this, it's stuck really good to the green paint. And you know, sheets of this shit started peeling off here. So I had to strip this down to metal until I could get the paint to feather back. So now I'm from here to here, and gonna have to prime that, epoxy it, all this stuff, you know. We're gonna have to reprime the front again, which of course, you know, like I said, that's on me. But these are all things that add to why it takes so long and why you get paid by the hour and not by the job. You know, if you're doing collision work, if it's cut and dry and you're putting a core support in, you're putting a fender on, you're putting a hood on, you're blending both fenders, and you're gonna paint a bumper, you can come up with a price on that, and you can almost dictate when it'll come in the shop and when it'll go out of the shop. But these unicorn jobs, make sure you cover your ass. So, you know, it's like Andrea called me and he wanted to know how much this week, you know, and shit, I've spent $150 just on supplies this week for this car, and it's almost ready to paint, you know, but it's still nickel and diamond. Roll of 80 grit, roll of 80 block, 180, you know, primer, epoxy. It all adds up, guys. These kind of jobs really suck it out of you. So that's what we're dealing with. We got a little more issue over there, so we'll get back on this in a little while. I need to go get a McPicnic because I'm sort of hungry, and I need to deal with this thing on a full stomach. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna have to do is strip all this because it's not wanting to sand up here. And we'll strip that. There's only a little bit of paint left, you know, just these pillars, A-pillars, and a little bit of the post. And I stripped this quarter panel because I ran into that problem when we did some body work down there. Ended up having to strip that one. And we stripped the apron. I didn't strip the roof. And I think we didn't strip this quarter panel. But we did strip the hood. We stripped both quarters. And we primed both the doors because there's no repair on the doors. It's just, you know, a paint job, color change. So there you go. I would have really liked to strip this car, but it would have added a lot more labor, and we're already questioning where the money's going. So, but anyway, that's where we're at. And then we got this one over here too. We're working on all week, you know. But somebody asked me a question on the 500 blending clear, and I thought I'd go ahead and answer that. And yeah, let me get find some of it. So here we go. Here's the product that's in question. Color blender, MPB 500. You can use this as a, you know, an agent for the special effects pearls, the color shifting stuff. You can put your candy in this. You can seal your artwork off with it between coats. And the main advantage of the color blender when you're doing artwork is if you're doing multiple colors, you can between each color you throw some of this 500 down, and if you get bleed through on your paper, instead of sanding on your color, you're sanding on clear, so it's easier to fix bleed through, little issues like that you get when you're doing artwork. Somebody asked me if this had any UV protection, and the answer to that is no, it has zero UV protection. It's the same as just like a raw base coat. So anything after, I think it's an 8-hour period, you know, you'd have to rescuff this before you top coated it again. And it's basically, you know, used as a mid-coat clear for different things, you know, for if you're doing a tricolor, some of the pearls go in the 500. You can use it for artwork, like I said. Another good thing that you can do for this, if you're doing a silver or gold blend, after you scuff the panel with your Sandfix and your Scotch-Brite pad, and you set yourself up for the blend, you instead of putting your color down first, you can lay a coat of this 500 down, and it'll cover the scratch in the panel, and it'll let your metallic lay down a little better and not fill into the scratch. This being clear, it doesn't show, and it gives it a good wet bed basically to put your blend over. So there's a couple different things that you can use this product for, and it comes in quarts, gallons, however you really need it. And it's a good product, you know, especially if you're doing stripes and stuff, you know, that way, you know, if your paper leaks or your tape, you know, gets an edge, you can go back and sand it and you're not affecting the metallic of your color or whatever, you know, color you put down. So that's basically what the 500's for. And, you know, hopefully that answered your question, Silver Horse 347. Wanted to know about the color blender and its UV properties. So, yeah. So yeah, I found it funny. Matrix is doing little videos now. They've got 3 of them up. They got their tech department throwing some videos up, and it's pretty funny. I was talking to the owner at NACE a couple years ago about the YouTube garage and stuff, and he thought it was a great idea, and he called the marketing girl over and wanted to know why they weren't doing something like that. But yeah, I wish them the best of luck. You guys go check them out. They got like 13, 14 subscribers, and it's hard getting people to trust you, you know. I think the connection that I have with a lot of the guys is that I've worked at a shop and I do it and I use it in a real world environment. You know, we're not spraying with the correct air. You know, we got a little moisture in the line, and we have some of the same problems that you guys will have. And the guys in the lab never see that stuff. You know, they spray with hospital air, and the conditions are perfect. And it's just more real world conditions with my videos. But I want to say thank you to Matrix for letting me use their product online, use their name, and make these videos for you guys. So go over and check their videos out, and you know, take a look at what they're doing. They're showing a lot of the UV, not the UV, but the LV products, you know, the coast-to-coast products that are compliant, coast-to-coast. I don't use a lot of LV products because our warehouse simply just doesn't stock them. You know, we're not in a market area where waterborne's required, and they just don't stock the product, you know. I am going to get some waterborne products in here, some water-based black, and we're going to do some factory pack black base coat waterborne, and some stuff like that. So I'm going to keep doing the Matrix videos too, and they'll keep doing them, and you guys can check them both out. You know, you get the more technical version from them, and you get the more real world, I guess, video from me, you know, real life, real world, real conditions for what a lot of us guys are working in. You know, there's a lot of us guys that are doing this on the side at our house, or, you know, we're retired from the, you know, profession, but still want to, you know, stay into it and do these hobby cars and stuff. And that's what it's all about, man. So I started making videos to try to share some of the knowledge that I have, and also, you know, meet some of the guys that are, you know, doing stuff above what I'm doing. You know, that's the only way that you get better at stuff, is watching guys that are, you know, ahead of your game. And thank God there's more than a couple. There's a lot of guys on YouTube doing some really amazing stuff, and if you watch some videos, you pick stuff up, you know. I mean, it's just like being in school. So I enjoy the videos people are making, and I know there's some people that like my videos, so I'll keep making them and answering the questions as I can. So, all right, I think we probably need to wash this car today. It's beyond ridiculous. So let me go do the McPicnic thing, or McBreakfast, McNasties, and I'll let this upload. We'll come back and we'll do some stuff today. So I was cracking up watching Fred's video this morning. He was filling his cracks in his booth there. And I don't know if you guys remember the story I told you about the foam. Hans got me to fill some cracks in the laundry room in our old house. Leandra, you know, she was getting varmints in there, so we went in there and we were filling all the cracks up. I was just cracking up watching that, but you never want to use that stuff next to a gas water heater, because it puts off some fumes, I guess. And I didn't really realize it spraying it, you know, but I was pumping all the cracks full and got over by the water heater, man, pulled that trigger and it went ba-boom! And it just lit the whole laundry room up in one big orange ball of fire. So it was low temperature, but scared me, got my attention. So don't smoke around that crack stuff when you're using the foam. It's highly flammable. All right, man, it's a beautiful Chamber of Commerce day, as they call them in Florida. We got Tom Duncan coming in tomorrow night, so we'll be hanging out with him this weekend. That'll be cool. We'll be in the shop. His daughter's gonna be here, so we'll get some stuff, maybe paint some fenders or something. We're gonna throw down some kind of paint while he's here, because that's what he wants to do. And yeah. So I got some piles. I need to still pick up my piles because my son doesn't help me out with yard work. You know, he comes home and I don't know where the hours go. So I got to pick all those piles up today and get the fire burning out back and burn some trash. So we'll have a big burn pile today too, burn video. So, all right guys, take it easy. Have a good day and go out there and make it happen. Push the record button. I want to thank some of the new guys that have been watching videos that have started making them. Really cool to see you guys get out in the garage and turn the camera on. It's what we need, new projects in the garage, and there's quite a few of them. So check those new guys out, and you guys keep pumping the videos out. Really cool.